Let's speak to Cawton Wright. Cawton's a teacher in Greater Manchester and the Salford branch secretary for the NEU. He's currently on a picket line. Good morning. Remind us, why are you and thousands of other teachers walking out today, Cawton?
Good morning, and thanks for having me on. Look, it's been advertised this is pay, and of course pay is a big part of this, but we really, really want to kind of get the government to listen to the issues that we've got within education at the minute. So we're in crisis in terms of recruitment and retention in education. The government have missed targets for recruiting initial teacher training people for the past 8 years, and we are struggling to get people to actually enter the profession. So this year, the 25,000 people left tried to apply to become teachers, but we've also got the problem that we can't keep teachers within the profession. Pay is a big part of that. You're getting teachers that aren't getting the kind of salaries they could get in the private sector, and because of that, they're leaving in the droves. We're getting teachers that have come into the profession and leaving, 1 in 4 are leaving within 3 years of being there, and 1 in 5 leaving within 5 years of being there. And it's just, we can't continue having this because we're not going to have teachers to actually educate our children. But apart from that, we've got teachers, teaching assistants, support staff, which is the backbone of schools, the lowest paid people within schools, which are also leaving because they can get better paid jobs elsewhere. And they're the people that help our real vulnerable kids, the kids that have SEND, the kids that have physical disabilities, mental disabilities. And if we can't have those people either in the profession, we are really struggling to provide for the children that we have. And then the final thing that is a big issue go on.
It's just a bit of a list here, so I just, if I could just maybe put a couple of things to you. I think teaching assistants, they've been long underpaid, haven't they? There's always been questions surrounding their pay, but for most state school teachers, they received a 5% pay rise last year. Not to be sniffed at in many sectors of the private sector, not everyone, but 5%. What increase would you like?
I mean, a 5% increase, we're not sniffing at that. That is an increase that we welcome. However, when you look at since 2010, teachers have taken a 23% decrease in salary because of austerity, because of no pay rises, below inflation pay rises based on RPI. And what we're looking at is an inflation rate of when we started this back in June, July, the inflation rose to 12%. So 5% is a pay cut of 7%. So we're asking for an inline fully funded government pay rise in line with inflation. And that's the key point, fully funded. Schools are losing out in their budget because it's not funded by the government. So actually, kids are losing out because the budgets that we use to buy exercise books, stationery, put teachers on training is being squeezed further and further because the government aren't funding that pay rise.
Okay, we do have a statement from the government that I'll read out shortly. I just want to put the focus on the main stars of the show, if you like, and that's the children who are going to be affected by today's disruption, many of whom have had huge disruption because of COVID. The government says this is simply unforgivable, that you add in further disruption to this.
And we absolutely understand COVID. We lived through it. We rewrote curriculums to deliver online. Teachers did double the amount of work to ensure that students at home and kids at home could get access to the best education they could in a horrendous situation. And we fully understand. Since we've been back in school, we've been giving catch-up lessons. We've been doing everything we can to ensure that the kids are getting back where they can.
Today, you're taking them out of that again, aren't you? You're disrupting their education again.
But daily education is being disrupted by the fact that there are unspecialised teachers teaching our children. There's over 500,000 kids tomorrow, because there isn't enough teachers in the profession to get there. So secondary schools are struggling to recruit science teachers, language teachers, maths teachers, and you're getting people which are not specialised in those subjects teaching their children. Now, if that isn't affecting daily education, and if that isn't affecting children daily, then I don't know what is. And we need the government to listen, because this is the problem with recruitment and retention. And money is a big burner behind that, because people won't enter the profession because of the working conditions, the hours and the salaries they're getting. And that's why they're leaving and they're not staying. So it isn't just, and they are affected, we get that, but this is to try and make sure that they get a better education in the long run with fully train specialised teachers and teaching assistants and support staff.
Cawton Wright, teacher in Greater Manchester and Salford Branch Secretary for the National Education Union. In a statement, the government says it's